Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. I am Anne Charpentier, CEO and founder of SkinUps, and I'm really glad to meet you today. Today, we will have a look at the Asian testing trends. Just last week, there was in cosmetics in Bangkok, so we had a lot of meeting with consultants, with experts, with evaluation manager from many brands from everywhere in Asia. So we are glad to share with you today several information. So we will start today with the presentation of Héloïse Lefebvre-Dupré for Asia Cosme Lab. Then we will have the presentation of Mrs. Adriana from Innovapotec. Then the presentation of Fabrice Perrin from Dermaproof Asia. Then Mr. Guillaume Lejeune from Wineos. And I will end this webinar by the presentation of the global trends for testing. You have a special message system, so don't hesitate to ask your question anytime. Then we can, at the end of each presentation, we can have Q&A sessions, and each speaker can answer you directly. And finally, at the end of the webinar, after my presentation, we can have also question and ask session. So feel free to ask your question. Héloïse, I let you the floor. So I will stop to share my presentation, and I give you the presentation.
I can share directly if you want. It's easier, I think.
Okay. And I will close my video and close my audio, my video, and I can see your presentation.
Can you see it full screen? It's okay.
I can see it's okay for me.
It's good. Okay. Do it again. That's better
Okay.
like this, I think. Yeah.
Hello, Marta. Can you just close your camera, please? Adriana. Thank you.
So today I'm going to talk, so I'm Eloise from Asia Cosme Lab, and today I'm going to talk to the proof points and how brands demonstrate and how the demonstration is going to drive trust in beauty. So just small introduction, we're Asia Cosme Lab, we're Asian beauty experts, but we are more on the side of beauty products, brands, and consumer insights. So we are less on the scientific part and more on the really product-driven intelligence. We're doing market intelligence for more than 20 years. And so my approach today is less scientific, but more consumer and brands based, and to understand how consumer understand the scientific evidence that are shown by the brand and how the brands are going to prove their efficacy and to prove their arguments through different means in different Asian countries. So the first that I want to introduce is to understand there are very different approach in Asia, especially when you look at three different countries that are Korea, Japan, and China, and they have very different approach on how to educate consumer to beauty and how to prove their efficacy when they are presenting a new product to their consumer. In Korea, it's really about immediate efficacy and it's a very business-driven approach, business-driven benefits. So there are a lot of different measurements and comparison tools that are highly visible and that are shared through e-commerce websites such as Olive Young, but also sometimes directly on the packaging of products. When you look at Japan, Japan is really a process of scientific demonstration and of education of the consumer through multiple information channels. we are going to have a very scientific content that is going to be explained by the brand through a lot of different channels to the consumer. When it comes to China, and it might be due to the fact that for a long time, China had to really prove their credibility in beauty, in skincare. Now we see that the brands really have what we call a sort of ultimate demonstration of efficacy, really supported by the power of ingredients and formula. There is a strong focus on really building a strong storytelling and a staging to build the credibility of the brand. And a lot of time it happens through scientific support and the publication of supporting or scientific documentation that is going to be very important for the brand, especially, for instance, in the skincare category. So to illustrate that, just showing you some example, in Korea, it's really about immediate impact. You want to have your consumer to know about the efficacy of your product. And so when you buy a product directly on the packaging, you can see different graphs showing how your skin is getting better, some before after pictures. So it's a really immediate and direct impact on consumer. And I think it's also the key today of Korean beauty is because consumers see a direct result on their skin very fast. And that's also why they're so strong on social media. They have these very immediate benefits and really benefit-driven communication from the brand through the product to the consumer. They have a lot of captivating visual communication. So this is, for instance, in the brightening category, you have a lot of different products showing before, after, regarding pigmentation and dark spots. You have improvement rate graph that is very important for consumer and clinical trial results. Generally, for the brands, you can see the three different proof of efficacy that are shown by a lot of Korean brands, and that is very, very strong, especially in the brightening category, which is one of the most important in skincare in Korea. I would say the latest one, super important now in Korea, and it's kind of the next frontier of beauty, is the beauty that is procedure-like result-oriented. So you have, for instance, Ayope from Armoe Pacific. They launched two products this year that are about having the same result as doing a treatment in clinic. You have the XMD Stem 3 Clinical Recovery Serum, which is supposed to have the same effect as having a skin boosting treatment, and the Retinol Reti-Injection Serum that is supposed to have the same effect as a collagen booster professional treatment. So it's really having some products that are, and they show with really like scientific results that you have a better result with this product than with a boosting treatment. And I just want to share very quickly with you a video. I hope it works. I don't know if you can see the video actually. Is it sharing the video too? That's just my... You know what? Forget it. It's no problem. It's just a video that is showing through YouTube how by doing on one side of the face the treatment and by doing on the other side of the face just applying the product, you can have the same kind of result. So although there is not a lot of scientific proof, it's a very visual, like impactful kind of communication of the power of products. When it comes to Japan, it's a way more scientific approach. So for instance, you have this product Haku, which is a product that is super famous in Japan for the brightening category. And the first proof of efficacy is, of course, this is a product that won an award every year. And every time it's renewed, they win awards. So it's one of the key in the communication of the brands. But it's also a lot about the very scientific communication that is about how the dark spots are removed, and it's really communicated to the consumer. You can see that they really have a 360 kind of degree kind of demonstration. So first you have on the website of the brand, you have an R&D demonstration, you have a press release. Then through the beauty magazines, you have some influencers that are going to visit the scientists of the brand and to talk about how this is a new scientific ingredient, a new scientific demonstration. Then when you go in store, you also have people that are attending to consumers that are really going to have an expertise on beauty, or they are going to show you how the beauty product that you're going to use are going to have results on your skin. You have a lot of skin diagnosis in store. Then you have the influencers, of course, and a lot of influencers are dermatologists or scientists that are also going to explain how the product work. Through the live shopping, you also have the explanation of the skin science and the product science. So it's not just entertainment, it's really scientific explanation brought to the consumer so that he can understand like how the product is going to act on its skin and if it's um, actually working for its personal concerns. And the last step is, of course, using the apps through the skin science and the product science. So either an app that you can use in store or at your home, but it's going to continue this process of education of the consumer. And as I was saying, it's really 360 demonstration. Like for one brand, for instance, you can have a release on the website, then you have the brand laboratory page, which is different from the regular website. Then you have a publication on PR Times, which is really like the press release for every brand in Japan. Then you have the product page, you have, of course, the social media, you have the beauty magazines, you have the own app of the brand, you have the beauty platforms such as at Cosme, which gives a lot of review, also helping a lot the consumers. You have the live shopping and of course the brand ambassador and influencers. So it's really demonstrating and educating the consumer at the same time. And really, the magazines play a very important role in Japan. I would say it's the country where the beauty magazines are the most important about informing the consumer about the beauty product and the beauty new technologies or science. So, for instance, you can also have this kind of page when you have a comparison of all the new products that were launched. This one is about brightening products, and you can see how in the before after they are showing the difference of efficacy of different products, and so also showing how different brands can have different products and have different impacts. Last but not least, for Japan, it's a lot about educational content and it's a lot about the application, of course. So, for instance, Sofina IP, which is part of the Kao Group, has a skin analysis tool that has been used by a lot of people. And it's about analyzing your skin, understanding a lot of key indicators on your skin, and also having personalized advice based on your skin current need, but also being able to monitoring the state of your skin and monitoring also the results of your skincare routine. So it's not just about saying, oh, you should use this or this, but it's also about being able to manage how the product is really impacting your skin. So it's really a comprehensive approach of the scientific proof of the product until how it's really going to impact your skin. When it comes to China, um, it's a lot about the power of claims. So, of course, it's about big numbers, showing how your skin is improved in a very efficient way. It's about a lot of scientific proof. So here you have different anti-aging, because it's especially in the anti-aging and brightening categories, you really need to prove that you are going to have a result. So it's about new technology. It's about really showing the rate of improvement of your skin, sometimes plus 180%, plus 190% of skin elasticity, of skin barrier healing, also showing the different layers of the skin and how the product is going to impact both the outer layer, the middle layer, and the base layer. So really pushing the claims of the product as the first way to convince consumer and to really show the efficacy of a product. And the second one, which is super important also in China, is to base your research and to back your product with scientific research and patents. So, for instance, here you have three products or three brands that are really showing that they were based on existing technology, sometimes technology that are not unique to the brands, but that are more like belonging to either a scientific institute or an ingredient provider. And they're going to say, for instance, Nobel Prize inspired supramolecular co-crystal technology. So they're even going that far as saying like inspired by a Nobel Prize technology, or they are going to talk about the scientific innovation and the international recognition of an exclusive patent, but they are also showing not just their own technology, but how their technology has received, is based on scientific paper that were published by prestigious scientific journals. There is also some brands like Marubi who are backed by the highest level research team for an unrivaled skincare innovation. So they enlist pioneering scientists specialized, for instance, in collagen, and they are going to really strengthen their innovation and scientific expertise through these breakthrough skincare solutions. So we can see that there are really through three different kind of approach when it comes to North Asia. And because last week we were in Southeast Asia and we were in Bangkok and we saw a lot of innovation, the question is also to know what's happening in South Asia. So I took three examples coming from Thailand, Indonesia, and India to see how brands communicate about their scientific proof and their efficacy to their consumers. I would say for a long time, there was not so much proof of efficacy for a lot of brands in South Asia, but today, a lot of brands are really reinforcing their scientific speech. For instance, Terry, which is a small indie brand from Thailand, they have partnered with a technology institute of Bangkok to prove that their botanical extracts actually have a lot of different skincare benefits. Then you have, for instance, in Indonesia, Labore, which is a brand that is a part of Paragon Group and that is really a skin sensitivity expert in South Asia and especially in Indonesia. And not only do they have a lot of content on social media, but they have a lot of offline events with experts, with dermatologists. And this time they launched just end of October the first microbiome checkup in Southeast Asia. So they are really showing that they are the expert of microbiome in Indonesia, in Southeast Asia, and really upping up their game regarding their scientific proof. In India, we still have a lot of collaboration with dermatologist experts that are going to reassure the consumer. And so you can have quite affordable brands such as the Dermaco that worked with Dr. Vanita Ratan to launch a specific range that is really supposed to be very specific to Indian skin and also that has some very powerful ingredients that are going to work specifically for brown skin and Indian skin in general. So that's a different approach, and we see that there are very different levels of way of approaching the efficacy and the proof of the scientific proof for the consumer by the brand. And so, yeah, that would be my conclusion. Thank you very much. And we have a lot of reports on Asian beauty in general, in case you have any question. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Héloïse. There is no question, so we will go directly to the presentation of Adriana. It's not Marta, it's Adriana. Sorry for the name. So I'll let you the floor to present Innovapotec, all the expertise of this CRO located in Portugal. Thank you.
Hi, good morning. So actually it's Marta, but not Marta Ferreira. Adriana was my colleague that was testing yesterday because I was in another meeting and I was not able to join to test the presentation. So it's not completely wrong. Let me just open it. So I don't know if you can already see my screen.
Yes, we can see your screen. That's perfect.
Okay, good. So I'm Marta Monteiro. I joined the presentation on behalf of Marta Ferreira, who could not be present. So today this webinar is entitled The New Era of Clinical Studies, as we will be talking as AI as a catalyst for innovation. So starting a bit with the clinical studies evolution. So as the dermocosmetic market keeps increasing over the past decade, cosmetic research has become also increasingly complex, scientific and data-driven, with significant investments in innovation and a notable rise in large-scale clinical trial for dermocosmetic products. Simultaneously, quality and ethical standards are increasingly elevated to meet the good clinical practices requirements, driving greater demands for extensive documentation and a large scale of data logging. So as a result, we now face a massive amount of data and advanced techniques that exceeds the limits of traditional methods. And of course, that's the perfect environment for AI to step in. Briefly, as you know, AI includes a sophisticated set of smart technologies that are customized to seek out and learn from data or experience, and then perform tasks based on what they learn while improving through experience. So while AI can be used to mimic the human intelligence, it can also uncover nuanced and complicated patterns that are far beyond some human capabilities to process and identify. So it involves creating algorithms to classify, analyze, and make predictions out of data. So AI emerges as a tool for speed, precision, and smarter interpretation. And nowadays, we start to see research papers and review papers highlighting what can be the role of the AI itself in this clinical investigation world. So clearly, is a hot topic of the moment. So why now? It is already expected that AI can, in the future, manage 50% of trial data tasks, reducing timelines by 20%, and enhancing data precision in clinical trials, leaving us free for innovation and strategic thinking topics. Going a bit into detail in which stages of a clinical study can AI help, it actually can help from the beginning to the end of a clinical study. It can help in the study documentation and management part. It can help and it can be involved in the patient recruitment, in data processing and analyzing, and then also on automatizing the reporting process. Starting with study design, so AI systems have the capacity to speed up the protocol development by analyzing thousands of clinical trial records, guidelines, and relevant literature to auto-draft some protocol elements. And just to briefly show you what can be done, I made here a simple exercise. So we use the free version of ChatGPT, so not specially trained with specific data, so with just the data that it's out there. And we have asked the AI to help design a clinical study for a skincare product that I want to launch in January 2026. That will be a skin whitening serum, and in seconds it delivered this answer. So it gave me a step-by-step approach to design a solid, ethical, and scientific study. It helped me know how to define the study objectives. It suggested me an 8-week study. It told me to determine the study design. It should be randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled. Also the sample size to define the number of subjects and the inclusion and exclusion criteria. It also suggests me some examples of what could be the outcome measurements, primary and secondary outcomes, how would the procedures and the timeline about ethics and regulatory be, and also from an ethical point of view, following the GCPs, and build a statistical plan regarding budget and logistics, and even told me how to calculate the costs of the study. I went a little bit further and asked it to help me design or calculate the sample size of the study, and it actually did it quite well. So it gave me the formula, as you can see, and that is correct, by the way. I assumed the scenario, of course, where it will give me a correct scenario, and it estimated a study of 28 participants per group, so a total of 56, and even suggest me to add some additional percentage of subjects to account for dropouts. It gave me also suggestions of devices for objective skin color measurements. So, of course, common devices, not something very specific. And for sure, this will need to be revised by an expert. But it even helped me translate this thing to a Word file. After that, I actually challenged it a little bit more. I can go back just to show you. I asked AI if she knows Innovapotec, and she actually knows. She gave me information about the company, the core services. To go through the location, the recognition, and all of the things we have already made. Oh, sorry. Beyond. So just to show you how incredible this can be and what can be done using this powerful tool without any, as I said, specific training for what we really want. So AI-powered solutions indeed can help in doing protocol drafting, feasibility assessment, site selection, and compliance monitoring. At Innovapotec, we are also using AI for project management. So we know how important it is for us and for our customers to accomplish deadlines. So project management is indeed a very important piece of a clinical study. So I would say that is the heart of the study. And we have some custom design software for fast, precise, and flexible clinical studies management. Of course, that includes automated test assignment, resource allocation management, milestone tracking for all phases of a project, task and project time tracker. And we are also now enable it with AI-powered task creation and automatic codependent task adjustment. We are also using AI note takers to transcribe, summarize, search, and analyze all team conversations. So what can we do, or what can be the outcomes of the AI at this stage of management? We can have 25% faster protocol approvals and 30 to 50% fewer amendments. Protocol synopsis, drafting, and automated protocol quality control. We can dramatically reduce administrative overhead and time and communications tracking pools, providing transparency and accuracy for team performance and project efficiency reporting. So a world that it's out there. In what regards subjects recruitment, it can also help, of course. So AI-driven systems that use advanced computer vision and deep learning can access skin conditions, such as wrinkles, texture, pigmentation. There's many opportunities and options out there with different systems. Of course, they will they won't substitute the scientific measurements and the validation of an expert of the scientific biometric validated measurements, but it can surely help on screening subjects for recruitment remotely. And then we'll only ask the ones that pass this first screening to the presential visit for an expert to really validate all the inclusion criteria. At InnovaPotec, we are using a robot-assisted telemarketing to accelerate subjects' recruitment, and it has a total human voice, which can do the full questionnaires and screen all the features that you need to screen. So you can prepare like a questionnaire, and the tool will go through it when calling each subject. So in a practical example, we got some numbers. We have trained the robot to screen a database for 3,000 subjects, and it has done it in 5 days, and had more than 2,000 calls answered, more than 800 questionnaires completed, because of course sometimes people answer the phone but did not want to answer the questionnaire, but it's absolutely amazing, and it's a task that in a human point of view will take much more time.
Marta, sorry, you have only 1 minute more.
Okay, I will try to speed up. So the outcomes of the AI integration in this recruitment stage, it's actually to have a rapid and precise identification of eligible study participants, 10 to 20% fast enrollment, and subjects can be screened remotely and efficiently based on objective criteria rather than relying only on self-reporting. Just a brief note here on the data processing and analysis. This is also a huge field of possibilities. Just to give you some examples of what we do here at InnovaPotec, we are start using a new AI-based software with Tricoscan. So to do this air growth, air thickness, and density analysis, we use this new tool to help us do it automatically, and it reduced the image analysis time by 80 to 90%. So the full analysis dropped from 57 hours condensed into 15, which is quite a good improvement. And so machine learning can really help us here also, and being in conclusion 30 to 50% most cost effective. Regarding the automated report, a large amount of data is collected, handled, and interpreted manually, and it's really time consuming, and also lead us to prone to human error, of course. At InnovaPotec, we make always a double entry of the data, and it's validated by a second person. So AI tools have now the capacity to generate tables, descriptive statistics, figures, direct from these trial databases, which can also reduce the manual data handling and accelerate the reports that are always very important for our customers. So indeed, it's a very powerful tool that can minimize the human error, resulting in stronger data integrity and traceability, enhance audit trails that are automatically generated and maintained, and be cost effective by reducing it.
Can you conclude, please?
Yeah, for sure. So let me just, sorry. So I will just leave it with a take-home message. AI is out there. We really needed to give a chance and shake hands with it to improve all of our jobs and be free for more innovative solutions and parts of our jobs. So thank you very much, and I'm sorry for the additional timing on the presentation.
Thank you very much for your presentation, and that's sure that AI take a more and more important place. I will show you how SkinUps develop a special tools to gather information and to help to use also AI. So thank you very much, Marta. There is a question, but not. I think it was a question for Eloise, but we will wait until the end of the webinar for the Q&A. And now I let the floor to Fabrice Perrin from Dermaproof Asia, clinical CRO in Bangkok. Welcome, Fabrice.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. So I'm the managing director of Dermaproof Asia company. So I will share my screen, my presentation. Okay, so I hope you can see it.
Sorry, at the moment we can't see it. I can't see it on my screen. And you become totally pink, Fabrice. I don't know why.
Okay.
Yes, your presentation is there. Maybe you
Is
can
it fine?
You can try the slideshow.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Yeah, sorry, yes, I look pink. I'm very sorry about that. So first, a few words about the company, because I will not make a typical presentation. Dermaproof Asia is formerly known as Skin Control Asia. It was founded in 2003 in Bangkok, Thailand, and we were part of Skin Control Group. But then we became an independent laboratory since 3 or 4 years. And so our mission is to evaluate efficacy and tolerance of dermocosmetics. So in healthy Asian volunteers. And so we are ISO 9001 certified. Most of our activities consist in testing finished cosmetics, so products already on the market or final step before being launched on the market, but also active ingredients and food supplements. And because some of you probably will not be able to visit us in Thailand, I wanted to share just a few pictures about and information about our facilities to give you some ideas about how it looks. And so we have almost 1,000 square meters of facilities with many laboratory rooms, photographic rooms, sensory rooms, and so on. And I would like to start with the vision of a company, because all the presentation will be to illustrate this point and what we try to do for our clients. So our vision is that we want to provide the highest quality service and to be a leading laboratory for cosmetic testing in Asia. And so we assist manufacturers of cosmetic products to demonstrate in a reliable manner the efficacy and tolerance of the claims of their products, thanks to standard methods, but also innovative methods. And to do that, we have a strategy which is based on 3 points. First, we purchase commercial instruments, scientific instruments to do the testing, but also we validate new protocols, and we also establish partnerships, collaborations, which can bring additional and complementary expertises for us and for our clients. And to illustrate the first point, the purchase of instruments, I would like to mention one of our latest purchase. So Leviacam, which is a video microscope, and its associated software called Tricolab from a company called Photofinder, a German company. Because this recent acquisition helped us to propose like new air testing methods and protocols, so especially for anti-air loss and so on. I will not give too much details today about the methods and the principle of the methods because my time is limited, but I just would like to show you a little bit how what we try to do for our clients. And so in terms of new equipment, I can announce that we plan to invest for purchase of new instruments in 2026. And the idea is to bring something innovative and exciting to our customers, something which is not commonly available in Southeast Asia. That's the idea that we try to put forward, to put in place. And the second approach, so validating new protocols, new methods, is to bring new testing services to our clients, and it consists in developing methods and protocols by ourselves. And I would like to give you just 2 examples about what we try to do. So one recent addition in our testing services was the assessment of anti-graying treatments for hair graying treatments based on photography and image and color analysis. So it's something that we have published. We have a reference that we can share with you if you are interested to know more about this particular technique. Another example, more recent, because until now we were not doing many anti-dandruff studies, mostly because we were not satisfied by the methods that we tried to implement in the past. So we have tried to correct this fact. And very recently, last year, we have validated a photographing protocol, so a grading system, evaluation based on grading, scoring of severity of dandruff, based on a photographic scale that we have developed in our company. A second protocol was based on the collection of dandruffs using Discrems adhesives. And the last point, I will come back to the last point later because it's related to something that we also try to develop, that we have tried to develop very recently. And so finally, the last, and for me, it's the most important point that I would like to emphasize today. We have established partnerships in 2025 because these partnerships will enable us to propose totally new services in our company, and it will be really effective at the end of January, beginning of February 2026. But everything is in place. We just have a few more work to do to write all the SOPs, protocols, prepare all the files for data analysis and so on. But everything is in place. And we have established in 2025 3 new collaborations. The first one is with Transderma Systems, a French company located in Tours. Second one is with Chulaomics, company from Bangkok in Thailand. And the last one, Solar Test Asia, I will discuss very quickly about this one. But to have to establish partnerships, we have to meet 2 conditions for us. First, the partners that we select must absolutely meet our quality standards. It's very important for us. And the second, we must have some shared values, like because we need to be able to create trust and confidence in each other to really make it work. And so I will comment this for the 3 companies. Transderma Systems, so it's a French company. I know the founder of the company for almost 30 years, so like they are good friends. So it means in terms of trust, I know that there is absolutely no problem. And this company is specialized in the realization of ex vivo tests. They started to propose transdermal penetration studies, but also no skincare and hair care analysis. And we have decided to work together to set up a protocol for the assessment of repairing and protective effect of hair care products. Then Omics Sciences and Bioinformatics Centers. So it's a company which was created from Chulalongkorn University, which is the best faculty in Thailand according to international rankings of universities. So they are specialized in metabolomics, transcriptomics, proteomics, genomics, and so on. And so we have decided to set up a protocol first to assess the claim microbiome friendly, which is also, as you know, becoming more and more popular and important. And the last company, it's in terms of trust, it's very important because actually I'm managing also this company in Bangkok, Thailand. So this company is proposing in vivo solar tests, determination of SPF, UVA protection, water resistance. And the interest for a company like Dermaproof is that we can work together and use the solar simulators used for solar testing for protocols requiring the irradiation of the skin by UV light. It's something which can be very important for some projects. And of course, managing both companies, it means in terms of trust, except unless I become schizophrenic, it will not be a problem normally. So first, I would like to speak about Transderma System collaboration. I will not give you too many details about the new test today because, again, my time is very limited, I know. But we have decided to propose a protocol for the evaluation of the repairing and protective effect of hair care products. So the test is based on the analysis of the diffusion of a fluorescent tracer inside air fibers. And we use confocal microscopy and image analysis to quantify the diffusion of the fluorescent tracer inside the air when it is damaged by chemical treatment, thermal treatment, whatever. And on the bottom of this slide, you can see two illustrations. On the left, one air fiber which is damaged, and it becomes porous to the tracer. So you can see fluorescent molecules inside the air fiber versus some air fiber which is healthy or well repaired or protected, which show that the tracer is not able to penetrate inside the fiber. So that's the idea of the test, and it's something that we will start beginning of next year. The second example of partnership is the partnership that we have established with Chula Omics in Bangkok in order to evaluate the microbiome friendly claim, as I told you. So the fact that one cosmetic treatment first is not supposed to do any harm. It must be beneficial to it must not harm beneficial bacteria which are already present on the skin, and at the same time, while promoting the growth or overgrowth of bacteria which can be pathogenic, like pathogenic species. The protocol will be very standard for those of you who knows already about microbiome evaluation, microbiome analysis. So it will be very, very standard. So it means we will identify the bacterial species present in skin samples, measure alpha diversity, beta diversity, and so on. So very, very standard testing. And something that we will also do, we are planning to propose anti-dandruff claims, but this time by focusing on Malassezia yeast, so other kind of species. So I see that maybe my time is running out, so I will speed to conclude. Anyway, it's almost finished. So this slide is just to show you a page which is part of our brochure and website. So it's to illustrate the test that we can propose, the kind of products that we can evaluate, like skincare, hair care, makeup products, food supplements, and so on. But in fact, I would like to conclude this presentation with a few points. First, working with Dermaprophagia, what is interesting for you is, so we are based in Southeast Asia, so the weather conditions are very typical. It's totally different, for example, from Europe, and the seasons are totally different also. So it means we can use these, like, for example, the summer period in Europe, which is a period not very favorable for performing some tests. In Thailand, it's not a problem, so it's something which can be interesting. And also in our company, we have a very large database of healthy adult volunteers. I guess I can tell you that probably we have the largest database of volunteers in Asia. And what is very important for us, and I try to make you understand this point, we are proposing and we are working on using tailor-made protocols. So it means please feel free to submit any request for evaluation for studies to us, even if it's not in this short catalog. Actually, we'll always try to find the solutions for you. So this is my final slide. So I would like to thank you all for listening. And if you have any questions, now or later, you will be welcome, of course. Thank you very much, everybody.
I did not have my micro on, so thank you very much, Fabrice, for your presentation. Don't hesitate to use the Q&A tool of the Zoom app, so we can answer your question. And now it's time to welcome Guillaume, and please share your presentation, and you have the floor for 10 minutes, and then about everything about sun care and sun care evaluation. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Anne. I'm just going to share my presentation. Okay.
We can see your slide. Maybe can you try the slideshow?
Yeah, sure. Okay, can you see it?
Perfect.
Everything's fine? Okay.
Yeah.
So, hello everyone. Thanks for attending this webinar. I'm Guillaume Lejeune, Business Development Officer at Wineos. And so to introduce our company, Wineos is is a center of expertise specialized in sun protection testing. We only do sun protection testing. We don't do hydration or anti-aging testing. We only do sun protection testing, which is the heart of our activity. We exist for more than 25 years. And so among the years, we introduced many innovation in this very specific field of sun protection testing. And our goal was always to try to improve as much as possible sunscreen testing globally to make it more efficient, more reliable. And so to achieve this very big and global objectives, we have, I would say, side objectives. In one side, we have the development of new efficient methods to assess the SPF, for example, the UV IPF, water resistance, all the different characteristics of sun protection. And in the other side, we have also the development of new technologies, new appliances in order to support the industry, the R&D departments, the testing laboratory. First, I would like to make a brief sum up regarding the sunscreen regulation in Asia and especially in ASEAN. So in ASEAN, this is the ISO method that are widely recognized for sun protection assessment. So for the UVB protection, we have the ISO 24444, which is an in vivo test. We have the ISO 23675, which is one of the two new ISO methods published last year. This one is for the in vitro SPF, and you have also the HDRS, the ISO 23698 for hybrid SPF, UV APF, and critical wavelength. For UV APF, you have also the ISO 24442 for the in vivo UV APF, the in vitro UV APF with ISO 24443, and HDRS that also allows the assessment of UV APF. And for water resistance, you have the specific ISO protocols, ISO 16217 and ISO 18861 for the immersion of human volunteers and calculation of the percentages of water resistance. It is important to understand that with the two new ISO methods last year that were published by the ISO, there will be many changes in the Asian regulations. Some countries already accept the new ISO methods. It's the case for Indonesia, Malaysia, for example. Other countries still need to update their regulatory text and their national regulation. So it is already possible to use the new ISO method for some countries, and for the other countries, it's important to see in the next month, in the next year, the evolutions. And it is planned that in the next few years, most of the Asian countries would accept the new ISO method. So various countries already accept in vitro methods and in vitro tests. So when it is possible regarding the regulation, preference should be given to in vivo methods, in vitro methods to avoid UV exposure on human volunteers. And some countries still only accept the in vivo tests, for example, Japan. So at Wineos, how we can help you with the assessment of your sun protection products. We are experts in this field, but we can act at different levels. We can act for the testing of your product, whether it is in development or in final stage. We can also help with providing equipment and consumables. And finally, we can also help with training to help companies having more knowledge about sun protection testing. In terms of testing, first we have a big in vitro testing activity with a very large catalog of tests. So, for example, we have screening tests. If you have a product in development, we can assess in the first phases, the first prototypes, we can assess the SPF level, the UV APF, the water resistance, photo stability, for example. Then we can offer the claiming test. So it will include the official tests to claim the SPF, the UV APF, or the water resistance according to official regulation. And in another part, it will include all the specific tests for the specific claims of your sunscreen products. For example, blue light protection, sound resistance, sweat resistance, long lasting, for example. This kind of specific claims of sunscreen have currently no specific regulation globally or locally. But anyway, you need to have a robust test in a serious laboratory to assess these properties. So at Wineos, we always developed methods by having internal research studies with several products. And then we publish the results and the protocol. So all the tests, the specific tests you see here, like long lasting, extreme condition, infrared protection, they are based on internal protocol published with a research study. Another new part of our activity is the HDRS testing. So the tests that correspond to the new ISO norm ISO 23698 for the hybrid method to assess SPF, UV APF, and critical wavelength. So this method combines in vivo measurement on the skin of human volunteers without UV exposure causing erythema, which is the case for classical in vivo tests. And there is another part of measurement which is done in vitro. And then all the results can be combined to obtain all the sun protection values. So this method is much more ethical than classical UV testing because it doesn't imply long UV exposure on human volunteers, and the doses, the UV doses are very minimal. So it's a really innovative method to assess the sun protection of your products. Another important part of our activity is the sale of equipment and consumables. So over the years, we developed some equipment, and all our equipment and consumables are compliant with the current official standards for sun protection. So we produce, first of all, the PMMA plates that are used for in vitro tests. With two types of PMMA plates, Helioplate SD6, molded plates, and Helioplate SB6, sound blasted plates. So these substrates are compliant with all current standards for in vitro sun protection assessment. So it's a reference substrate for the sunscreen assessment over the world. We sell this substrate in various countries in America, South America, Europe, Africa, Asia, Australia, for example. So it's a really important consumables for the industry, whether brands, R&D labs, or testing laboratories. And we have developed also some specific equipment to improve the reliability of sun protection testing. For example, with the Spreadmaster that we can see here on the right, which is an appliance for robotic spreading in order to replace manual spreading that can bring many variations. So this kind of appliance will help to improve the repeatability and reduce the variability. And we have also the Thermaster, which is a specific appliance for temperature control during in vitro tests. So for our appliances and consumables, we have a web of distributor all over the world. And finally, third important activity that we have is the training activity. Over the last year, we trained dozens of companies, and we offer different modules depending on the needs of company for sun protection testing. So, for example, we have a first module which is really a basic introduction on the principles of sun protection, the principle of sunscreen regulation, the basis of the testing methods. Then we have module 2 with in vitro or in vivo, which is more a theoretical module where we will see all the theory of official norms for sun protection testing. So, for example, we can have all the theory for the new ISO methods that were published last year. And then we have a third module, which is advanced theory and practice. So you will have all the theory, but also a practice part to learn how to realize the sunfilm testing in best condition and in compliance with the standards. And so this kind of the first two modules can be done remotely, and the third module can be done at a laboratory in France or at customers' laboratory if they have all the equipment available. And so here you can see all the contact information. If you have any question, if you need any quotation, don't hesitate to reach us. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Guillaume, for your presentation. We heard a lot about sun care protection in Asia and sun care testing. So it's still a very trendy and very requested area. Thank you. So finally, I will present you the testing trends we have noted during this in Cosmetic Asia last week. I will share with you my presentation. Okay. Can you see it? Okay. So we will first speak about the testing trends and Asia beauty context, but I will really go very fast because Eloise gave us a more large and more dedicated overview of the Asian beauty trends about the market. And you know, this webinar is recorded, so you can find again the webinar whenever you like on the SkinOps YouTube channel. Then we will speak about, we will focus on testing. So this year at in Cosmetic Asia, there were 17 exhibitors regarding testing, and I think that the instrumentation manufacturers are well represented because there are two main distributors. They are presenting European testing device, and it's something very special at in Cosmetic Asia. So this is the matrix I like to give to summarize the beauty market that influence testing. Every time, in cosmetics, I renew it and I reevaluate each parameter. And this time for Asia, what I can say is that politics and context is playing a big role because of the US tariff, because of investment evolution. So that's new, but it's like that, and even we can say that there are some tension between Cambodia and Thailand. So globally, the world is not that peaceful that we could hope. So it influences the beauty market. I will say that regarding what increase, I think what increase is the digital experience because of the Gen A and Gen Z and the influencers. It takes really a big importance in Asia. The lifestyle changes, they are not moving. Beauty culture maybe decreasing the influence because things are there and are not that evolving. The regulation constraints remain important, and environmental changes are still there, but it's not increased that much. Here I present you Asian beauty context, but you can find again this slide on the presentation. I will let also the PDF, and you will have also the presentation in PDF from our speakers today. So I go fast on this part. Difference between K-beauty, C-beauty, and G-beauty. I will say that, on my opinion, discussing with many experts and consultants and brands and users of the platform in Asia, Chinese beauty is really increasing a lot. Wanted to develop their own local brands and indie brands. So it's evolving a lot. Korean beauty market is very dynamic, very innovative, and with a very high level of OEM services. So, and Japanese, it's an historical big player and remaining very famous for the science-based products launched on the market. So these are the main claims that we have in Asia. So we can see lightening and whitening is very important, and it's like in Europe or in US for the wrinkles. So for anti-aging in European we will look at the biomechanical properties and wrinkles, and in Asia we are looking at whitening and lightening, which is also linked to radiance. Then the moisturizing is very important, the complexion, radiance, the glow, it's on every lips. These are the main overall factors, but I talk about it just a few slides before. And these are the technological factors that are impacting the Asian testing market. So we can see that the full face analysis is very popular, and science-based proof is also very popular, and hair skinification. What also impact what societal and scientific transformations impact the testing in Asia. I will say the long-term skin health and well-aging, the medicalization of skincare, what Eloise told us a few minutes before, and personalization and microbiome is starting to be important in Asia. There are also we start to hear about neurocosmetic and skin brain and neuroscience and holistic testing, even it's not that big as it can be in Europe or in US, and also the new ISO, Guillaume told us about that. So what you can find on the Skinos platform, you can see here, for China, we have gathered the information of 29 CROs, in South Korea 32, and I just said that the process to gather CROs in the world is very rigorous. It's a 7-step to be sure that the CRO answer our questions. So it's very important. And then it's free of charge for any CRO. So it means that we really share since almost 10 years independent and comprehensive information about testing. So that's a summary of about full face imaging. about glow and radiance. Here, specific for radiance also, and here about hair growth. But I will show what you can do on the directly on internet. So here, if Chloe, you can just tell me if you can see my screen. It's that great. Just confirm. So when you look at SkinHub's testing platform, you see you have clinical and preclinical. Preclinical, you can see safety and find everything, and you have all these features. And for example, here I have selected radiance and glowing, and I selected skin radiance specifically. And I find 5 solutions on 57 providers in the world. And you have your messaging system. You can directly ask the providers to the CROs to send you the answer of your request. And you have also your project. And here it's to see, I want to know in Thailand what can I find. So I have 104 solutions. And here in the map, you can see also what are the main CROs. And if we look in Portugal and we want to see Innovapatec, we can see here. And we have also the directory with this little green sign, means that this CRO has completed the 7 rigorous steps. And here we have visited this lab. So you have all the data sheet of the suppliers with their specific articles and all their tests also. And here it's I wanted to show you all the tests for specific claims. And here, this is our CTN. We renewed this cosmetic testing news in July, and now it's very powerful with AI. Marta told about how AI can help, and here it's incredible. You can just say, okay, I'm looking for radiance, like here, and you have 111 results. It means that cosmetic testing news has been created 11 years ago, and it gathers information from scientific publication, from our partners, from our own testing articles, and also from the magazine. If you put this URL in the AI, anyone you prefer, you can ask for a summary. And we try it, and it's very, very powerful. You can do for radiance, you can do for aging, because what you find on SkinHubs is our own intelligent watching. So it's sure, it's what we found interesting on our field. So you can use it. And then just to finish, so this is the CTN. You have the YouTube channel to watch every webinar you like. And we will present next event will be HPCA in India, and then Cosmetotest in March, dedicated to scientific conferences about testing, and in Cosmetics Global in April. Thank you very much for your attention. I will close my share. Maybe everyone, Guillaume, Marta, Eloise, and if you want to come back. I don't know, Fabrice, maybe Fabrice will come. So I have there is one question from Mr. Runar Vigge, and he wanted, I think the question was for Eloise, but maybe others can answer. He asked, how important is the skin microbiome for Asian brands?
That's a big question. That's an interesting question. I would say it is important, but some brands made it their let's say their main argument to talk about the microbiome. We have seen that the skin barrier, which is linked to microbiome, has been a huge topic in all Asia and especially now in more South Asia. And what we are seeing is that especially, for instance, in Indonesia, where microbiome was not really understood by consumer, now we're seeing some brands that have a very specific positioning on microbiome. And I would say in Asia, it's generally the case, either the brand has a very specific positioning regarding microbiome, but not all the brands mention it. Although we are seeing some brands talking about, for instance, probiotics in their ingredients, the influence of fermentation in brands, even in Korea or in Japan, for instance. So that's a broad question, I would say. The question is also is how consumer understand the microbiome, because it's a very big word, and although the brands are educating about microbiome, a lot of consumers are still not very sure what microbiome is. So I would say some brands have a very specific positioning about explaining what is microbiome, how to take care of your microbiome, and having a very specific approach. Some brands are more on the ingredients focus, such as using prebiotics, probiotic, and so on, but not always explaining uh, what is the link with the microbiome, but more like what is the benefits of the ingredients that are linked to the microbiome. And some brands, but it's more rare, I think, are also talking about testing the microbiome or microbiome test like the one we saw in Indonesia, but it's quite new. At least in Southeast Asia,
Yeah.
it's a really new approach. So that's what I would say.
Thank you, Héloïse. Fabrice, maybe you can give your insight about microbiome claim in Asia. What do you think?
For the moment in Asia, for our company, we have not received many requests for performing microbiome studies. I think it's growing, but it's less than in Europe or maybe USA. Also, what is sure, there is not too much known about microbiome at that time. So it means many companies are interested in microbiome studies, but the problem is to define what is a good microbiome for the skin or for the scalp. So the first thing is the first idea, the first principle is if your skin is healthy, if your scalp is healthy, try just to keep the equilibrium as it is, don't disturb it. And after, there is something a little more specific for some particular skin conditions like acne, atopic dermatitis. I think rosacea is the same. So dandruff, as I mentioned in my presentation. But I think there is still a lot of work to do to be absolutely sure about what should be improved in terms of microbiome on the skin or scalp surface.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Fabrice, for your answer. And I think I have the same insight than you, Fabrice, and Héloïse about microbiome. I think the trends in Asia is not as it is in US, because it's really started in US, then now it's in Europe, and we can see on the testing in Europe, it starts to be more mature because people are discussing about testing, the level of testing, and what means microbiome friendly, and it's becoming really mature. And I think in Asia, it's concerning mainly acne prone skin, and but it will increase. That surely this is a global trends. I will say about microbiome. I will
Maybe one more comment, if you don't mind.
yes.
Recently, I attended the World Congress of Cosmetic Science, the IFE60 Congress in France, and I was very impressed by the number of presentations about microbiome. So obviously, it's growing a lot. So we expect to do the same in Asia, in Southeast Asia, everywhere in the world, actually.
Yes. Yes, that's sure. That was one of the main. There are a lot of. We have wrote an article with a consultant. You can find in the cosmetic testing news. Gathering and summarizing all the testing opportunities to test the microbiome, because there are a lot, people say a lot, but finally what is possible, and so that helps the evaluation managers to find their way in the jungle of microbiome testing. So I will check if there are any other questions. There are no more questions for today's webinar. So it's time to give you a big tell you a big thank you, Héloïse, Fabrice, Guillaume, Marta, and for your presentation. And we keep in touch. If you have any question regarding this webinar, just don't hesitate to leave your message on our email, and we will see you soon after the HPCH in India show. We will have a webinar after. It will be in January or February. We keep in touch. Thank you very much for your attention, for your presentation, everyone, and have a good day. Have a nice evening in Asia.